Hey guys, so by request, I was asked to do a tutorial for the chocolate milk perler bead. And I'm here to show you everything that you need and how to do it. So this one's going to be for the chocolate milk. You will need 89 medium brown. So that's these ones. And if you have perler beads, this is just from the giant jug of them. So I just sorted all these out, and you can do that too, I'm sure. And then you'll need 57 light brown, and then you will need 25 white, 6 black, and 4 of the light pink. It's kind of like a peachy color. So there's those. You'll also need a pegboard. I suggest 2 because the way that I do it, 1 empty and 1 for actually putting the perler beads onto. And then you'll need a pair of tweezers, which is just for good. It just makes the whole process a lot easier instead of trying to do it with your fingers. It's just so much easier. And then for the ironing phase, you will need masking tape. You will need an iron, which I have over there, warming up. And ironing paper, usually these come with ironing paper, but if you don't have any, you could just use wax paper, or I wouldn't recommend using parchment paper only because it does have a sticky side. So I'd say either use the paper that they give you or do wax paper. And then you'll need just a small towel just to protect your surface when you're ironing, and something flat and heavy to hold the piece down when it's drying. So there's that. So the first thing you need to do is you need to either find a pattern. For this, the pattern will be here. I did write it down on the graph paper, which works really nicely too, because if you don't think you quite have the dimensions correct, you can actually place the pegboard on top of the picture, or you can just place on top and just do it off of that, which is awesome because this is the same. These pegs actually match up perfectly with the graph paper. So I don't know if you can see that or not. But so there's that. And so what you want to do is you just want to start placing. Make sure all your counts are correct. And you just start placing them on the pegboard. I find the best way is to kind of grab them and then just pinch them and then place them. I mean, that's... And I pretty much just... I usually just do the outline first and then fill it in with the insides. But... So you just literally just pick them up and put them down. But for the sake of time and movie magic, I am just going to go like this for one that I've actually already set up. So the placing is simple enough, and I'm sure you can get that just easy. And this is the part that I have learned from, and I really enjoy doing it this way. So what you need is masking tape, and you want to get enough so that you can cover the piece. You'll have to do more than 1 layer unless if you have really thick masking tape. But first you want to make sure that this is all lined up and good. So you just want to gently down the side, just run along and make sure everything's squared up. If you feel like it, you can give it a little jiggle. So I think that's good. So what you want to do is set one side down first and then gently lay it over top. So there's one. You can gently push down on the center just to get it stuck to the beads. And then continue on down, one side down. Make sure that there's a little overlap. You will need that little overlap. Otherwise, when you go to lift this off of the board, it's just going to rip right in half, and that's not going to be fun, because then you'll have to do it all over again. Or fix it as best as you can. So lay that down, and I think I'll just need 1 more strip of tape. All right. So once your piece is fully covered, you're going to want to get your tweezers again, or if you don't have like a flat spot on your tweezers like this, you could do a spoon handle, works just fine. What you're going to want to do is rub along the edges until it starts showing through, just to get a good solid taping onto this, because we are going to be lifting this off, so you do want to have them all fully stuck. So just make sure you get it all down. Get all the edges really good. Until you start seeing it. See, because now you can start seeing it through, and it's kind of getting like a texture to the tape, but you want to make sure it's down really good. And then, once you think you have it well enough, and you can see pretty much all of the beads starting to push through, kind of, not too rough, but enough of a rubbing, you're going to want to either find a pencil or a pen or something with a tip, and I just use, because these have, when I clamp them shut, I can use this little point here and just take this up, and anywhere where the tape overlaps, like here along this line, you can kind of see the outline of the perler beads, so you just want to punch through and do like a hole. This is going to help for the next phase. So just follow it along. That's it for that. Yep. And then this. Go along. Just punch. And then this one actually looks alright. It's only overlapping in a few spots. So I'll just punch those through. Like so. That looks good. So once that's done, you want to grab your plain mat board, your other pegboard, because you do want to with this. So what you're going to want to do with this is place it over top, lining up the holes that you punched. So you want to line those up with the little spikes on this next one, and this top one. And then you're going to want to give it pressure and push it down. I'm actually going to come over here. It does take a little bit to get it to go down. Start at an edge, if it works best for you, and just press down until it's fully punched all the way through. And then what you're going to want to do is grab onto this masking tape on the side just to hold onto it, and then lift this off. So now you have a bunch of little holes poked in your masking tape. And this is going to help when you iron it, so that it doesn't fully go flat and that it has a little bit of a depression still. And then it'll be flat on the other side. And if you actually want to do this other way, have it facing this way on the flat side, all you can just do is just flip the pattern over, and you should be good. So there's that. And so it is time to iron. Let me just get all this out of the way. All right, that's done. Tape's good. All right, so what you're going to want to do is grab your towel. It doesn't really matter. I mean, it's just to protect your work surface. Also, to the if you're using something, because you'll need something to put on top of the piece when you're done ironing it, you just want something that is going to stand up to the heat. Obviously, don't put anything like, because this is going to get hot. So this is kind of the dangerous part. So you do want something that's not going to be affected by when this is cooling. So there's that. And then, so you're going to want your iron. I just put it on the hottest setting linen. I put a little bit of water in it. It doesn't really matter too much. I don't think you really should put water in it, but just to keep the iron from overheating. So what you're going to want to do with this is you want to peel it off gently. Make sure your masking tape doesn't split at the seams. And then place this face down so that it's now face up. And this is going to be our melting side. Yay. So then grab your ironing paper and place it over top. This will cause, if your paper has a crease in it, it will cause a little bit of a crease. I don't think any of these have, it won't be too noticeable, but if you're worried about that, make sure you have a flat piece, obviously with no crease. I'm just gonna use this. So you can place that on there, center it as best as you can, and then grab your iron and just set it on there. I usually put the heavier end because the back of the iron is usually the heaviest. Usually put that so it's not wobbly. Try and get it flat on there, and you just let it sit there for a while until it starts. Make sure you lift it up too and check it. This is starting to melt. It's starting to, once you see it starting to come against the ironing paper, you can tell that it's starting to melt. So give it a bit more time. Alright, alright, so you can really see them starting to go now in more places than others. The ironing part can sometimes be the worst part. Unless if you have a cat that keeps messing up your stuff. So what you're going to want to do, once you feel like it's started to melt, just start gently kind of massaging it with the iron. I find if you use the tip of the iron, it usually helps best. Don't push it. Don't dig it in because that will leave dents in your piece too. But gently, kind of circles, small circles. If you need to, a second, see how it's starting to go completely flat. All right. And I did use, I don't know the difference between the Hama beads and the perler beads, but I did use a perler beads. So this is just these instructions for these. I don't think there's anything different, but make sure you do your research first. Perler beads are so much easier to get a hold of, I think. So when you think you're good, you can always peel this up. I do have a little crease in that though. And there are some here. If you want to get rid of the holes completely, keep going. I'm going to just give it one more swipe because there's kind of weird little creases in mine. But it should be good. Here. Alright. Alright, so there's that. Once you're good and happy with it, put it aside onto a flat surface, and then put your heavy thing on top of it. And just let it sit there. I usually give this about, I don't know, a few minutes. If you've got extremely cold hands like I do, you can wait for it to cool down just a little bit and then just rip it right apart. But I will let it sit there for a couple minutes as we talk and wait. So there are the other ones. I'll show you these other ones here while we wait. There is, if you've seen my perler bead collection video, there is, I do have the plain milk and the strawberry milk that I did. And these are what is required for this one and what is required for this one. So there are those. And also, if you want to just pause your video and just check that out, go right ahead. And you can use that, or this one, or this one to do your perler bead creation. So I think we're good. Take that off. It is still a little warm. Be careful if you decide to be happy and early about it. But so there is our fully melted. And it is, I could have gone a little bit longer if I wanted to get rid of these, but I'm pretty happy with it. There's some bigger holes down here, but all in all, pretty good. I usually go for the other side anyway, so it's not like it really matters to me all that much. So what you're going to want to do is peel off the tape. And if you have anything sticky remaining, like if the surface is sticky at all, let it fully dry or fully cool, I should say, and then just get some either rubbing alcohol or a little bit of nail polish remover and just rub it on here just to get rid of the little bit of sticky that might be on there. So there it is. And thank you guys for watching. As always, like, subscribe, check out my other videos, and I will see you guys soon. Bye!